Hey, 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 welcome to another Valley Forged. I have been getting a ton of questions and I'm going to get to answering all of them. I'm getting ready for a show and I am making so much stuff. As I mentioned before, I'm making $10,000 worth of inventory, all on a diode laser to, for a show that's coming up. So I'm getting a lot of questions on, what kind of glues I use and, what I'm answering today, which is how to price your items. And I do have a lot of experience with that. I've owned my own business my entire life and many different types of things. And figuring out how to price things is always super important. And I've watched countless videos myself on this subject and what you should do. But what I really come to in the very end is it doesn't matter. You can price it whatever you want to because the market is going to tell you what that is worth. So you can sit there all day and you can do the math. Oh, I put this much time into it. The wood costs this much. I'll double that, and that will be my price. And then it sits there. Or they sell so fast you can't keep them in stock. So really, and there are a lot of other factors to that. Just because you made one doesn't mean that's what the costs are. What if you make 500 of them? That cost dramatically changes. And I just want to tell everybody, slow down. Selling laser made products is not a get rich quick scheme. Right? You're going to have to learn how to do it. And every time you learn, you will get better and better at doing it, and it will become less expensive. So that's also something to think about. Do I enjoy doing this? Is this something that if it does sell, that I'm going to want to make a whole bunch of? All this will come over time and you will have a better feel for it. So just don't worry about the pricing so much at the beginning. Make enough to where that you can keep making more. That's kind of the main thing. And be respectful to the people around you. If you're giving away stuff for free, you might piss a couple people off, right? I mean, you look at Etsy, for the most part, it's a race to the bottom. A lot of people not making any money. But if you're selling things for enough money to learn and to make more and to experiment, then you're probably going to be fine. And as you sell more and more and you hone your craft, you will get a better idea just innately by doing it what your prices should probably be. And of course, you got to know your costs because you have to know if you're losing money. I'm going to add this in here. One more thing is just try and look at things from the outside. Take yourself back and put yourself behind the table. Say you're going to a show or you're looking online and you see this item. What do you think immediately that you would pay for this item? I think that's super helpful because we get lost in thinking about, hey, how much did it time and effort and whatever did it take me to make this? But maybe you have friends, family, whatever. You can put this in your item in front of them. Just have them tell you what they think it would cost. And to be as honest as possible. And also to ask them, hey, what do you think you would pay for it? Because something they think how much it would cost may not be what they would pay for it. And take those things into consideration. I can kind of put myself on the other side of the table and look at my things and go, oh, that's about how much it would be worth. But a lot of times I'm wrong. The leather wallet thing is something I was totally wrong on. I did not value. I had always got my wallet from Ross or something super cheap. And only once did I spend a ton of money on a leather wallet, which was one very similar to mine, which got me into doing it. I spent $100 on the wallet in a store, and then I lost it. So I decided, hey, I'm going to make one, and there you go. But I was really surprised. I did not think that they would sell so fast. And I didn't think people would really value spending $65 to $100 on a wallet. So this is why my prices are probably too low, is because I personally didn't value it the way that it should be. And that will probably happen to you. So let's get back to what I was saying, but I thought that was an important point to put in here. And you also, it's nice to know, oh, hey, these are easy to make. They're cheap to make. They sell like crazy, and I enjoy making them. And so this is a product that I want to focus on. But if you're only making a few products, then you're probably not going to find those. I'm going to give you examples, of course, because I have my best sellers pack on. I'm going to give you a couple examples, but I will start with what I know, and a lot of you have bought my files on Etsy. I have these all individually, but I have a best sellers pack that you can pretty much just start your business with these products because I know they work, and they're going to teach you the basics and the things that you need to know to make your own products. Now, without a doubt, no doubt about it, the crosses are my best seller. Now, I sell them as wall mounts. I sell them with a stand. I sell them in a shadow box frame in different sizes. So I have many different ways of selling this, and they all work well. Some of them are easier, some of them are harder than others. Like selling them in the frame, because I can go to, say, Michael's on a special. They had buy one, get two free. And so I just loaded up on them at a super, super low price. And that's really the most expensive part about selling it in a frame, because you can use MDF and paint it with a gold paint. It looks fantastic. And so my costs for materials are very, very low. So those ends up being maybe more profitable and easier to sell because it's finished. You could take it, people could take it home, they can give it as a gift, whatever, it's done. But you may be thinking, okay, well, how do I price that? And you will be amazed that, hey, the price you think it is, maybe they fly off the shelves and you have none left after, say you have a 2-day show, you sell them all off the first day without even knowing, which has happened to me several times. I literally had to raise the price or else they just sell so quickly. And this is a great position to be in. And if you have the right laser, they're very easy to make. They do take time, but if they're just working in the background, they're not too difficult to make. People believe they take a really long time to make. So they have that perceived value. And I'm going to recommend the Louisiana Hobby Guy video. He just put one out on pricing items. We just so happen to be thinking about the same thing at the same time.
Creators of videos have spent far too much time trying to calculate time and materials to determine a price point. I personally never do that. I try and make products that people want and that they'll treasure, or they'll be proud to give to someone as a gift. And by concentrating on this thought process, the price of time and material really doesn't matter. And I believe the key is personalization. Always adding a personal touch to a product aimed directly at the buyer will increase the perceived value.
And his conclusions are a little bit different, but they are along the same lines as mine. So I think it's valuable to watch several people's videos. I'm going to put a link to his down below so you can watch that after this one. But as I get back to that whole thing of don't be in a hurry, just make stuff that you enjoy making, put it out, get better, learn how it all works. It's going to take, my rule of thumb is it takes about a year. If you just start right now, maybe by Christmas, you'll be ready to actually start selling stuff. Between now and then, just do your best, learn about the shows, learn which shows are the best. That matters so much of where you sell. If you're selling on Amazon, if you're selling on Etsy or Amazon or whatever, your prices, are going to be, your margins are going to be so low probably. Whereas if you sell even a farmer's market or something, maybe you don't sell a lot there. So, but when you do, you meet people and they tell you what the better shows are. Like I'm only doing a few shows a year now, but I sell a ton at those shows, and I'm pretty consistent on doing that. So this is just something you learn over time. And then the majority of your sales are going to come around Christmas time. So you need to be prepared for that. So, I mean, if you have a table just full of these crosses, though, a lot of people can't afford that, or they're not shopping for that, or they're just not into that sort of thing. Having a variety of prices and subjects on your table or in your shop store or whatever is also super helpful, because something may catch somebody's eye, but then they'll be like, well, you know, I'll just buy a keychain. And that happens all the time, you know, and it's something quick, easy, and $5. That's a good thing to have. Quick, easy, and $5. And a keychain or a coaster is generally really great for that. Those cord chains cost me pennies to make. I sell them for $5, and I've sold thousands of them. So those sorts of things you want to have on your table. So have something $20, something $5, something $100. Things that people have a perceived value of that. I don't sell as many of the bottle openers as I do of the crosses, but they are consistent, and I do enjoy making them. And I love making them. I love the way they look. And so it makes me feel good to have them there. A counterpoint to that is the roses. Those are beautiful and people love them, but to me, it's as hard for me to make one of those roses as it is to make a Lord's Prayer cross or a bottle opener. And what is the perceived value of that rose compared? Right? Because when you think about making that rose, it looks very simple. But you make the backing, you have to paint the red, you have to paint the green, then you have to make the top, and then you have to seal it, and then you have to glue it together. They're not the easiest things in the world to glue together. So, and they're semi-fragile, especially when they're not glued together. I mean, it's easy to break some. You will mess some up. Now, what are you going to do with the back? You're going to leave that plain too? So I end up painting the back. And then how much can you really get for one of those? Yes, I just made like 70 of them because I know they sell for Mother's Day. And I think it's just a good thing to have, you know, and the Mother's Day cards, they sell really well. And we go to the wallets, you know. I've told you many times, and I have, of course, the videos on everything I'm talking about, step-by-step guides and how to make all of these things. I love making the wallets. I just absolutely love it. I carry one myself. It's over here somewhere. It's the wallet I use daily. And so that's very easy sell for me. They don't sell super quickly, but they sell surprisingly fast. But you're asking about pricing. Well, you know, there's so much involved with that. I'm selling them for $65, and that's actually too cheap. I know. And I could get more for them. I just enjoy making them, and I try to sell them so that I can just afford to make more at this point. I am getting better and better at my Leathercraft, and it's something that if I could sit around and do that all day long, I might mostly want to do. I never want to just do one thing, but I think that is the most zen, most fun thing I do is making leather wallets with my laser cutter. It just makes me happy. I love the sewing. I love the hand sewing, the gluing, the whole process of putting it together is something that makes me happy. So do I need to make as much money? Well, I mean, you still got to pay your bills, right? So I realize that my way of doing pricing is way different than others. And so I really think you should watch a lot of people's different opinions. But I have my reasons. And that is because even after years of making stuff with lasers, I'm still honing my skills, and I'm still realizing that the best selling item for me, I still haven't even realized yet. And so if you get stuck making the same things and thinking, oh, you know, hey, I'm making a decent product, a decent profit with this, that, you know, you won't make one of these Lord's Prayer crosses and realize, wow, you know, my profit on that is like 4 times what the rest of my items are. There are many more items out there like that. So don't stop. Just keep making, keep trying, and you're not always going to make double what your total cost of making it is. Your first few times, it's probably just not going to be that way, and that's okay. But sometimes it will. And when you make something and you put it out, and all of a sudden everybody just flocking to you to try and buy that item, then you finally know you've got something. And, you know, you have to realize that all shows are different. A weekly farmer's market is not like a craft show where people are literally coming there to buy items from you. So, and I've said this before, it's just a process. But yes, in the end, you need to realize you have your packaging costs, you have your wood costs. You know, your laser can make a lot of things, but you have to add how much your laser costs into your items, because eventually you're going to have to fix it. You're going to have to get another one. You know, so you got your wood, your packaging, your time, your laser, you know, taxes, your setup, you know, the fees that you have to pay, all these sorts of things add up. And if you try to make money right off the bat, you are probably not going to. That's just probably the way it is. I cannot make a living just selling stuff, especially on a diode laser. But I do make a pretty good amount, and then I have my other forms like YouTube channel, you know, like the big orders that you get from doing shows, that will be repeats. Like I've told you many times, I make one that always comes to mind is like the stuff for Stanford. I make stuff for their graduation. Well, that comes up, you know, every year, and you make a ton of them. It's reasonably easy. You will get a bunch of things like that over time. So this is another benefit of doing shows that you don't realize at the time. But I have the stuff on Etsy here. Like I sell my files. I have the YouTube channel. I have different kinds of yearly big bulk sales that I do. I have the shows that I do. The actual sell of your items is not necessarily all there is to it. And so try and think that way. But I think the bottom line is what I'm trying to say is don't be in a hurry. All this stuff will come over time. Don't fret about it too much. If you have to be really worried about making the most you can out of every item when you're starting, you're probably going to struggle. And it might just be better to get a part-time job or something while you're building your business. Or if you have a full-time job, don't quit. Just, slowly learn your craft, learn your business. Wait till you really get successful and think, oh, okay, yeah, this is going to work. And then you have some diverse ways of making money that if maybe somehow one gets, taken away from you, that you're still going to be able to make ends meet if you've quit your job. But I would give it a year of good, solid work. And by then, I think that you will understand your craft, and you will kind of have a really good idea of what sells, what doesn't sell, what shows to do, what ways to sell. And it's just a process. So, okay, well, that's all I got for today. Now, I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things, so leave it down below. This is just kind of off the cuff, really. So, and that's my thoughts. So getting ready for a show, so it's really on my mind. So I will see you in the next one. Love y'all.